Welcome to Face Islam, the program dealing with the subjects that face Muslims everywhere. And in today's episode, I want to focus on a word, nafs. Nafs. Doesn't sound like a big, complicated word, but could be one of the biggest problems facing Muslims today in this world. What is nafs? Often translated as ego, or a person's self-evaluation of themselves and what they're all about. Me, myself, and I. You know, that's nafs. It's also dealing with a lot of the shortcomings that people have in their personalities, because nafs, or desires, or lusts that we go after, is really a big problem, isn't it? Because we find that the very things that are the opposite of what Islam teaches are being found in the nafs. For instance, the things that we desire in this life oftentimes are the very things that will keep us away from having something good in the next life. And sometimes even mess us up in this life. For instance, if we took drugs. Now, drugs is a situation where a person begins thinking that they're going to do this and have fun or get high or get away from this world and replace it with another world that they have in their head. But then what happens is the addiction overtakes them. And then suddenly, it's not a game anymore. It becomes something very obsessive with them. It destroys their life. And it's not just drugs, is it? No, we find alcoholism can do something very similar to that. The one who's addicted to alcohol or addicted to drugs has actually allowed their nafs to control them to the extent that they're ruined in this life and quite possibly ruined in the next life as well. Because the things that they will do when they're under the influence of these drugs, and I'm considering alcohol to be one of these drugs, then those things that they do definitely will be very counterproductive in this society, maybe even cause them to go to prison, and definitely destroy them in the next life. So what can we do about these nafs? And let's think about that, because we could go on forever talking about the negative side of the nafs, talking about desire of money and wealth, looking for a position in this world, wanting to be in control over others. But what's the solution to this problem? And that's what this program is about. Bringing the solutions, the answers from the Quran and the Sunnah, so that we, you and I, can get a better understanding of what it's all about. In today's episode, I'm going to take one of the shortest of the surahs to keep the program on time for us, and that is Surah Al-Asr. In the Quran, Allah says in the Arabic language, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. And here Allah is telling you something amazing. He's telling you literally that the human beings that He created are all destined for the hellfire unless they change their direction. He's saying inna, which means certainly, insan, human beings, you and I, la fi khus. They're in a state of bankruptcy, loss, totally lost. Yeah. Illa, except for those, alladina, who come to the what? They come to the right belief, the iman, in la ilaha illallah, that there is none worthy to worship except Allah. And He doesn't stop there either. He goes on to tell us, and they do the deeds of righteousness. It's not sufficient just to say, I believe. No, there's action. It has to follow it up. And without that action, the belief is worth what? We know the devil believes there's a God, so what is the benefit here to say you believe in God? It's much more. It's to believe to the extent that your belief becomes something in practice and you obey the commandments of God totally and completely without any equivocation whatsoever. And then he continues in this chapter called Al-Asr by saying that these people, they will endeavor to encourage each other in the haqq, the truth, and the absolute truth, and what Islam brings forth for them in truth. And they will encourage and exhort each other to be in a state of perseverance and endeavor to be patient in all things. And that is faith, Islam.